Hello, welcome to Alive with Jill. Right, a few things coming up today, but also be very interactive with a live chat. So if you're watching live, don't be a stranger. Get involved. Jerry, Darren, the wrestling channel, Frank, Isaac, Jake, hello, thank you, welcome. And put your comments in and I'll have a little read of them. Anyway, today that we saw that Felipe Anderson and Manuel Lanzini are on the transfer list, not officially, but unofficially, officially, if you like. The most reliable of sources in the West Ham world have said that them two, the two that we're wanting to get rid of, to look to raise 35 million. Now, I don't know what planet they're on, but I wouldn't mind visiting it sometimes because it sounds like a wonderful place if you can get 35 million for those two players. I don't know what I'd expect, 10, 15 million, between that range each. So you're looking, if you ask me, it's 25 million, anything over 25 million for Anderson and Lanzini this summer, I'll be impressed with. I will be impressed if we've got more than 25 million. So I can understand why we would get rid of them. I understand that. I just don't like almost leaking this. A year ago, we've done it with Anderson, we've done it with Sebastian Aller, and then when the season gets going, those players are struggling a little bit and they look like they're demotivated. It comes as no surprise to myself when we're basically telling them that we want to get rid of you, but can you please turn up for us on Saturday? It doesn't sit very well with me. I think that type of thing should be behind closed doors. Chris is saying that Anderson and Lanzini will get us 10, 15 million max. He reckons 5 million each. I think that's a bit low. George is saying 20 million for Lanzini due to his reputation. I mean, that is true. It is true. Anyway, in live chat, let me know what your valuations are. Anderson and Lanzini combined, don't do individually, combined, what you reckon? I reckon 25 million is good. 20 million is probably a more realistic fee. Give me your realistic fees, please, in the live chat. Anyway, Ray, Chris, George, forwards from Irons, Bill, Martin, Dan, Thibault, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome. Keep your things in. Anyway, Adama Traore, we're being linked to him today. This is the guy I think is the most overrated player in the Premier League. I think he's one of the most overrated players. I've never understood it. I've never understood why there's a fascination with him. He's fast and strong, and that's about it as far as I'm concerned. That is about it. His end product just doesn't exist. I think he's got like 1 goal and no assists or something in Premier League this season. He's a winger. He's been playing up front in some games. It's just, he looks good. He looks fast and strong. Defenders struggle against him, but you know something, he's sometimes better off for getting out of the way and just letting him do what he wants because he very rarely provides. Now he is struggling because normally his assists come from whipping the ball in, Jimenez heading it in. So the fact that he's not got Jimenez in the box, he is going to sort of struggle a little bit with the assists and stuff. But a good player would adapt. A good player would still be getting assists and getting goals. But he's not. It's almost like, well, if he don't play, I can't do anything. The one thing I can do, which is knock it on his head, and that's it. I just don't. I'm not his biggest fan. You know, post-lockdown, I remember sort of talking about him in the preview because Gonzo loves Adama Traore, and I remember saying that I think he's rubbish but he's effective, and he came on and changed the game and stuff. But I'm sticking with my opinion, and my opinion's only been hardened this season. Overrated. I don't like him. Strong and fast, that is about it. Anyway, there's some injury news. We'll get onto the live chat. I'll get interactive in the live chat. Keep your comments coming in. I'm looking at your valuations now, actually. A lot of people are sort of saying roughly the same price as me. Isaac saying 20 million sort of combined for those two players. Cathal saying 25 to 30 in a normal market, but anything more than 20, we're doing well. Jake saying 22 million. Alan Woody saying 25 million. Isaac's 12 million for Anderson and 15 for Lanzini, so 27 million. Eric saying 30 million. John saying 30 million as well. So around about the 20 to 30, but no one's saying 35, which is what was the going rate. What we got told we're going to try and shift them for. But injury news, Ogbona's got about 6 more weeks to go until he's back. So it's a little while till we're going to see Ogbonna. But Masuaku, he's got a couple of weeks and then he's supposedly back. He's back in training at the minute, Masuaku. Got an international break at the end of March, which I assume they're going to be looking to get Masuaku back after March, because quite often during the international break we'll have like a little friendly, even if it's just behind closed doors against under 23s or something. We tend to have a training match, a proper 90-minute officiated match. So I'd imagine we'll be trying to have one of them just to keep the fitness up, because while a few players will be away with the international squads like Declan Rice and Thomas Souček and Vladimir Coufal, there'll also be a lot of players just not in the international squad. I imagine we're looking at the likes of Mikel Antonio, Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals, Jesse Lingard even. So we'll have a lot of our senior players still at Rush Green. So it's a good thing to do. Get the training ground going and get Masuaku out on the pitch, and hopefully he'll be there. But we're still a while till we're going to see Ogbonna. I don't think he'll play much more games this season, actually, because by the time he is back, assuming that Dawson and Dia will keep up the form, and sort of do we touch that defence? We've only got 2 or 3 games to go till the end of the season. Are we going to risk it? So I'm not so sure we'll see Ogbonna again. Anyway, season ticket news. I noticed this one. It's gone under the radar a little bit. It's not been given much attention. I can understand why. But the big thing is that season ticket fans, there'll be 10,000 fans back at the Southampton game. Final game of the season. At the London Stadium, there'll be 10,000 West Ham fans there for that one, so that'll be good. We're trying to get the boats open for it, but I'll catch up with the boats people this week and see if we can get the boats open. Not for those going to the game. I mean, you can come in and go to the game if you want, but for those that can't go to the game, those that just want to come down, meet up, have a drink together, and then we'll try and watch the game together and hopefully celebrate and get into European football. But the fans are back. But anyway, the season ticket news is that it's much the same. The season ticket prices are staying the same as they are next year. If you gave up your season ticket this year, they're going to ring you up and offer to get it back for next season. If you're over 70, you don't have to renew your season ticket. You can give it a miss next season, or if you were one of the ones shielding, you can swerve it next season. But the following one, so we're now into 2022/23, you can get it back again. You won't lose your season ticket. So I think they're doing right looking after those that sort of gave up their season ticket because of COVID, or still it won't be competent going back next season despite the jabs and stuff, because the renewal time will be in the next 2 or 3. I imagine in the next month we're going to be asked to cough up our money. It says that if like me, I'm a 30%, I pay 30% of my season ticket for this season. It says basically you don't have to do anything. The club are going to ring you up with your options for next year. Imagine I'm going to ring you up and say, can I have the other 70%, please? That's going to be quite costly, actually. Better get saving, won't I? Anyway, question time, comment time. Let's have a little look. So, Jazz are saying, what about Masuaku coming back to full fitness soon? 2 weeks. He's back in training already. I don't think he's in the sort of team training, if you like. I think he's probably training on his own, just getting his fitness back, so on and so forth. But that should be the thing. Jake saying he's not sure Masuaku will get back in the side when he comes back. Will Johnson push him out? I hope so, in his opinion. I think Masuaku would come in. I think Johnson had a poor game against Man City, and I'd be surprised if he starts tomorrow night. So we'll wait and see. Andy's asking if everyone should have that option. I don't know, Andy. I think it's sort of like it's a difficult thing to manage, actually, the sort of the COVID stuff going forward, because we don't know what's going to happen. While the jab's obviously working at the minute, I think you can be forgiven for expecting it to evolve and come back next winter, and we have maybe not the same issue, maybe not as big, but we have some issue. So the club are in a bit of a sort of catch-22 here. What do? Do you let everybody waive their season ticket for next year? Because at the end of the day, they've not had any fans in for the best part of 1.5 seasons now. They need to get cash in. They need to get money in the tills, just like every other Premier League club do. In order to do that, they need as much season ticket holders. They need as much season tickets to sell. Because let's just say John Smith isn't going next season because he's 72 years old. They don't fancy it, but he might want it the season after. The club can't sell that season ticket as a season ticket because then the new guy won't get to renew. So they'll have to sell it on a match-by-match basis. And we don't always sell them out. And that's the fact of the matter. John, this is a good question. Fabianski Randall tomorrow. It would be Fabianski for me. I think Randolph's injured. But Alan asked a good question for sort of the morning video for the patrons tomorrow, which was, if they were both injured, would you start David Martin or would you start Nathan Trott? And for me, it would have been David Martin. I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't see Nathan Trott. I just think it's a huge, huge game. I think that we need to manage Trott. I think this would be far too much pressure on him if he was to make a mistake and lose us the game. In theory, it could almost cost us European football. It could possibly cost us Champions League football. The last thing you want is to come May, you miss out on fourth by 2 points, and your goalkeeper, how old is he? 19, 20 years old? You don't want your 20-year-old goalie making an error against Leeds to lose us the game, because he would look back and think, if I'd never done that, we'd have qualified. I think it's too big a game. I would have put in Martin purely for the experience fees. And I think he's an all right keeper, just an all right goalkeeper. He's not Premier League one. Isaac, any news on Fredericks? Not really, actually. It's been quite low. Nothing too much. Moyes did say he sort of had a muscle injury, so I don't think he'll be out for too long. I think he'll be all right. Rudy says, if they're both the same value, which of Lanzini and Anderson would you rather keep or sell? I would sell Felipe Anderson. I've never been a big fan of him. I think I was almost like one of his biggest critics. Like when last season under Pellegrini, I was one of his biggest critics because I just didn't buy into him for some reason. But now I find myself defending him quite a lot because I think a lot of people now criticise him and don't want him here. I don't particularly want him here. But the loan move, I look at the club as well. I think the club have messed up with Felipe Anderson's loan move here. They sent him to a club that don't really want him, and his value is just depreciating every week. He's not even in the last Porto squad. He's not even making the matchday squad anymore. But I would probably have, out the two, I'd keep Lanzini and off Anderson, because I've got more faith in Lanzini doing something than I do with Anderson. And Scarborough Hammer says he's heard good things about Dapo on loan at Bolton. Do you think he needs to go on permanent? No, I would put him on loan again. Like yourself, he seems to be doing really well at Bolton as well. In the team, getting goals. I'd keep him on loan, ideally at Bolton for the season, because if that's his home, if he's doing well there, it'd be silly to take him out of it. I would leave him there, but I don't think... I'd be surprised if he makes a step up and plays for the senior team again. I would be surprised. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. Gio, do you find yourself saying that this is our biggest game of the season every week? He knows he does. Champions League still asks from Ben. Of course it is, Ben. Of course it's the biggest game every week. I always think the cup games are the biggest games, but once you're at the cup, that's obviously no longer the case. But we've got 11 cup finals left to go between now and the end of the season. Simple as that. Until we cannot qualify for European football, or it looks unlikely, every game is bigger than the one last week. Hopefully we can win tomorrow night. 7 games so far at the time of this. Tottenham are away to play Palace tonight. 7 games in Premier League so far this weekend. Not one home win. Not one. And we are also at home Monday. So the crowd, just goes back to what I was saying earlier, the crowd makes a huge, huge impact on games. Simple as that. Forrest with Iron says the club messed up not getting more of our youth prospects out on loan in the Championship, League 1 and League 2 with a recall clause in order to test them against seasoned veteran men. I don't think we have the biggest under-23 squad, to be honest with you, mate. I don't think... It felt like a couple of years ago, it felt like our under-23s had a bit of squad depth about it. They seem to have decent players at that level in almost every position, 2 or 3 decent players in every position. But now you look at it, and it seems very thin. I don't know why that is, but I agree. We had to get 1 or 2 players out on loan. But it's a funny season this season. I did think, though, in August, coming into this one, I thought there was a huge opportunity. I thought West Ham could almost pick and choose which club to send your youngsters. Because of COVID, the fact that League 1 and League 2 sides would have virtually no money to spend, if you could identify a League 1 club crying out for a left back, you could just ring him up and say, we've got Longello, he's a young lad, we've hopes for him at West Ham, you can have him, we'll pay his wages, but we want to see him in the first team. If he doesn't play 50% of games in January, we're taking him back. Simple as that. I just felt there was a big opportunity for us to pick and choose which club to send which youngster almost, and take advantage of the COVID situation and the fact that the lower clubs found themselves financially struggling. Because what League 2 side wouldn't bite your hand off for a player for free for a season right now? None of them. So that's why I would have liked to have seen more. James, do you think we can continue our form into next season and recruit well in the summer? I do a bit. I think this is what gives me sort of more hope than anything, that I feel like the foundations that this season, it's solid. It doesn't feel like luck. We've been lucky in some games, but overall, we are where we are on merit because of hard work, because of organisation, because of good players. And it's not really like we're fluking it. And I think that's important, because sometimes, as much as I love Bilic, sometimes in that 2015-16 season, it felt like we're getting a little bit lucky. It felt like at Upton Park, the Canary were almost sucking the ball into the back of the net sometimes to win games 3-2. And you can't really rely on winning games 3-2. You need to score 3 goals to win the game. There's something going wrong at the other end of the pitch. But this season, we don't really have that. I think that we're going into games, teams fearing us, we're very well organised, and everybody's looking forward to the next one, which is excellent. I think that's the most exciting thing. Stan says he's got an unpopular opinion. He says Lanzini isn't as bad as a lot of people say. He deserves to have a chance, and Yarmolenko and Anderson should be sold first. Yeah, I agree with that, but my patience with Lanzini is running out myself as well, really. I started a game not that long ago, and he just didn't look very good. I don't think he was bad. It was Sheffield United. It was Sheffield United, wasn't it? Because it was a convincing win. We won 3-0, and somehow he didn't look that good in a team that just won 3-0. So, but anyway, we'll go with that one. Henry says, what do you reckon to Leeds with players like Rafinha, Phillips and Bamford? There's some team. Yeah, I agree. I think enjoyable to watch, I will say that. But I think their strength is attacking football, but I think their weakness is also attacking football. I expect us to have a lot of space in the wide positions tomorrow night, in behind Ayling and whoever plays left back, whether it be Dallas or Alioski or whoever it is. I expect us to have a lot of joy down the wings. I'm looking forward to it as well. Chris says, do you think losing to Liverpool City have cost us for Europe? Not City. I think it's a bit harsh if you're going to sort of hinge your whole season on getting a result at the Etihad. But losing to Liverpool was definitely a kick in the stomach, because especially we've seen their form since, we've just seen Fulham beat them, and I felt like we gave them far too much respect. We played the badge, we played the champions of England and not the current Liverpool team setup, and it was disappointing. A lot of fans were disappointed with our setup that night, that day, and I think they've been proven to be correct as well in the long term. And one thing that probably irritates me more than ever is when people have an opinion and they get told by someone else that because their opinion don't match, that they've got to shut up or something. I've seen some people complain that we were too defensive against Liverpool, and others say, well, hang on a minute, we're 5th in the league, so what are you complaining about? But they weren't complaining about being 5th. They were complaining about 90 minutes of football, and that's it. And I do think the Liverpool result could cost us in the long run. It'll be one of the games that we look back at and think that there was a missed opportunity. However, I think off the back of that, getting beat by Liverpool, I think it's changed our mentality going into the Tottenham game and the Man City game, which we obviously got 3 points from in a decent performance despite getting beat. So I think short term, it wasn't great, but long term, I think we're seeing the benefits from it. I think we're seeing the benefits of it. Forrest from Iron said, would you consider me out of line if I ask for your help? We need 100 subscribers by the end of March to make Duke sing 6 Ball and possibly involving helium. Go check out that. That's Robert Gates and Duke. They're both decent guys. They're both long-term subscribers and supporters of the channel as well. Gates is a patron of ours. So yeah, if you can, go check out the Forge from Iron YouTube channel. Go have a look at them. Give them a subscribe as well and see what we can get them to. Stan says, love the interactive factor and transfer shows. Yeah, it's different. When I first tried them, I didn't really like them, but I'm getting used to them. I've got a tier list video coming hopefully later this week. It depends on Charlie, because Charlie's busy, but I need him to edit. I can't edit for nothing. I honestly struggle to do anything. Although saying that, the Leeds preview, I say I edited it, I put the end slate on and clipped a couple of bits, but I'm getting there. I'm dipping my toes in the water, right? So anyway, I've got a tier list video coming up. Hammer 1999 gave me an idea. I stole it. I thought it was a good idea. I thought, having that. Cheers, mate. Thank you. But I want to do more interactive sort of tier list videos and stuff that we can get you involved in. So every time I do a tier list, I might try and do a live show the following night in which the live chat pick the tier list like we did for the last video. So I'm going to try and do the tier list, get involved 24 hours ago. Oh, saying that, hey, remember these mugs, these next level mugs? We got them back in stock and we're selling them. They're £10 plus delivery. And if it's the UK mainland, it's $3.50. So get in touch with us. It's hammerschat@gmail.com if you want one. We'll get it sold and we'll get it sent to you. Next level mug. And on the back says world class tea in a world class mug. Lovely. Our first ever piece of merchandise. Currently our only merchandise. But we're bringing out more designs soon as well. Bringing out more. Kevin says, why is Mike Dean the referee for tomorrow night's game? Do you know something? I found that a bit strange, to be honest with you. When I seen that Mike Dean's first Premier League game back, he had that FA Cup game, didn't he? He did an FA Cup game, but he missed the weekend because he was receiving death threats. And then he's come back to the Premier League. And he's in charge of our game again after what happened at Fulham. I don't blame Mike Dean. It's not Mike Dean didn't pick this game. He didn't ring it up his boss and say, all right, mate, can I please take charge of the West Ham game? I blame I can't remember the initials. What is it? PGMOL or something. Is that it? PGMOL? It's the Referees Association anyway. It's not really the FA. It's the Referees Association. They need to protect Mike Dean here and not put him in the West Ham game, because if he does something wrong, it's going to look like he's at it. The conspiracy theories are going to be all over the shop. I just think they should have protected their member of staff a bit better and gave him sort of a lower game, this one. I don't mean like West Brom against Newcastle. I mean a game where you wouldn't normally expect that. Spurs Palace would have been a good one. I don't expect that one to be too bad, so I would have given him something like that then. Quincy Bear, who goes down with Sheffield United and West Brom? Newcastle. I hate Newcastle. I don't hate Newcastle. I quite like Newcastle, actually. I love their fan base. I think they're a big club. I think they're an excellent fan base. I hate Steve Bruce. I absolutely detest Steve Bruce. Him and Roy Hodgson, I don't like them at all. I found myself struggling today, actually. Normally, I want Allardyce to lose. So West Brom Newcastle today, I found myself almost wanting Allardyce to win, more to spice up the relegation battle a little bit. But I just really, really don't like Steve Bruce. I don't know why. He must have done something to me in a previous life or something, or in my dream or something. He must have annoyed me in my dream, and I've just hated him. So I think it's his football. I just can't stand his football. Ben, who is going to be the final top four? I don't know. I've not done that prediction thing yet. Gonzo done his prediction league video earlier, didn't he? And he had us finishing in the top four. I've not done it because I think it's while it's all fun and it is what it is, there's far too much sort of tangents, isn't there? Injuries, form, you have to take everything into consideration. And like I said, on the last day, you cannot underestimate having 10,000 people at the game. You cannot underestimate that. Every home game, every home team on that final day is going to have a massive advantage compared to the away team on the final day. I haven't had a look, right? But if I was West Brom and we were away to a team and it was between us and Newcastle to go down, and Newcastle were at home on the final day, I'd be livid. I would honestly be livid. I was saying, hang on a minute, you can't have this. This is unfair. This is giving them a massive advantage of 10,000 fans roaring them on, because they will. The atmosphere on the final day that around the grounds will be buzzing. Only 10,000 people, but I'll tell you what, it's almost like letting animals out of a cage. In some cases, you probably are letting animals out. But could you imagine we could qualify for European football on the last day? That 10,000 fans will be making an absolute racket in the London Stadium. We will gain a huge advantage on that last day of the season. I'm going to go off topic here, but Fremer's saying Newcastle fans hate Bruce as well. And I know they do. And I hate how the media sort of almost dig out Newcastle fans. And it's the same with Palace fans, West Ham fans at times. It's almost like the mainstream media have their own agenda a little bit. And when they were sort of like digging out the Newcastle fans, they started saying, oh, what's the problem? You're going to stay in the Premier League and stuff. I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because fans should be allowed to dream and hope. And Steve Bruce ain't doing any of that in Newcastle. He's giving them nothing to dream about. The football's rubbish. It's atrocious. they're probably, Newcastle fans are probably glad there's COVID. Well, maybe not COVID per se. There's a reason not to go to the football because they don't want to watch that every week, and I don't blame them. Same with any Palace fan that wants Roy Hodgson out. I fully understand it and back them because that football is just diabolical. Why you want to watch it, I don't know. So I completely understand. Anyway, Stan says top 5 transfer targets you'd go for if you were Moyes. Sam Johnson, because I just think a number 1 keeper, and also I think West Brom will go down, and therefore he becomes available. And I just think he'd be a fantastic goalie for us and sort the position out for a long time. And I don't think he'd be that expensive. I think 20 million you might get him for if they get relegated. I think that's a bargain, really. Conor Gallagher, and I know someone saying 2 West Brom, well, he's just Chelsea player, isn't he? But every time I see Conor Gallagher, impresses me. He's got that energy in the centre of the park that I think we need. I think he would be different to Souček and Rice, but also a decent alternative, but also a replacement. I think I'd have no problem seeing Gallagher and Rice partnering up next season. If Souček was suspended or injured or something, I wouldn't panic, whereas I'd panic with anyone else next to Rice in our current squad. So Conor Gallagher would be in there. It depends who leaves, I guess. You've got to get a striker as well, but I don't really have one to recommend. The one I've always liked is Alexander Isak, but he's doing well for Real Sociedad, so I don't think we'll get him in. I don't really know, to be honest with you. That's the type of question I need to think about. Mitchell saying football's entertainment. You aren't being entertained, you should complain. Staying in Premier League is drab football isn't an argument, it's media, but I completely agree. That's why I 100% sympathise and back Steve Bruce and people that don't want Steve Bruce or Roy Hodgson there. I completely agree with it. Who would you take from Newcastle? Lascelles. He's saying Lascelles. Gary Smithhurst is. I don't know if I'd take anyone. I don't think I would. I'm thinking about it. The strikers don't really interest me. A lot of people say St. Maximin. He doesn't really interest me. He seems to be injured a lot as well. Centre midfield. Shelby's got a decent pass on him, but again, I don't think he would work under David Moyes. I think Sean Longstaff looked decent, but again, always seems to be injured. Their defence, Shar looked good, but not anymore. They've got good goalies, Darlo Jubavaca, how you pronounce his name. They've got 2 good keepers, so perhaps that, but that's it. Callum Wilson's a good shout. A couple of people saying Callum Wilson. I think that's a good shout, actually. He does work hard, and I think he would fit the way we play as well, actually. I do see that one. But apart from that, Scarborough saying he likes the look of Yoksulu from West Brom. Well, he's only on loan, to be fair, so you could still go get him. Ray saying Edward for West Ham. I think he's going to Leicester, mate. I think he's off to Leicester. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but I fully expect him to join Leicester City this summer, that's for sure. Champions League groups worth 13.5 million to 32 clubs for the group stage. Performance bonuses are paid out 2.5 million per win. How much do they give boys? Well, the problem is you also get your TV rights and that on top of that. I think the Champions League will be worth, I think it's 40 million if you reach the group stage overall with everything put in. The problem is apparently we've got 10 million bonus to the playing squad if we finish in the Champions League stages. And speaking of the European football, we did in another video I've done, I said if you want me to explain how to qualify for European football, we'll do that video. I can confirm that should be up on Wednesday. I've done it. It's going to be like an insights video. If you're an old school Hammers Chat person, you know what I'm talking about. We've done insights videos before where you don't see me, you just hear me. But Charlie does all the graphics and makes it look. Do you know Tifo Football, that massive YouTube channel? We pretty much copy Tifo Football. So we're doing it in the style of that. So I've got the script ready, recording the audio for it tomorrow and send it to Charlie. We'll piece it all together and hopefully we'll get up on Wednesday because there's a lot of confusion, if you like. It's difficult to explain. Frank, do you think Moyes will be looking at Traore due to his Antonio strength? I don't think we want him, Frank. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we're looking at him because I reckon Wolves would want 30 million for him, I think, and he's just not worth that whatsoever. I don't believe we want Adama Traore. I think it's just lazy journalism. That's why I'm not too bothered by the rumour. I don't want Traore, but I find it hard to get worked up over rumours that I don't believe. Whether it's players coming in or players leaving, it doesn't bother me because I'll do my transfer rumour videos, but I like to think in most of them, I call the rumours out and say I think it's rubbish. Daniel, how happy am I for Scott Parker and what a game it was? Yeah, I'm delighted for him. I think not just because he's an ex-player. I actually find myself more happy for Scott Parker. Nothing to do with West Ham, actually. That's the affiliation. There's something there that makes me want him to do well. But I actually find myself wanting him to do well more because of how he plays football. I think he plays sort of pretty football in the Championship. He played that possession-based pass stuff. I worried it wouldn't work in the Premier League. He's making it work just ever so slightly if he gets out of it. But I fully applaud him for sticking to that. I fully applaud a manager that's willing to stick to sort of his ethos. But like what Ian Holloway did with Blackpool when they came up. He liked attacking football. He came up and played attacking football. Roberto Martinez at, Wigan. Swansea over the years have had managers as well that just refuse to not play they want to play their style of football and they stick to it and they make it work. And I like that. I really, really, really like that. Oh, Conor Gallagher, 100%. Abdullah says, how many players? Depends if we qualify for European football or not. If we don't qualify for European football, I don't think we need many players. I think if we get a striker in, and then it's just a case of a strike, maybe one, maybe two strikers, a centre midfielder. Then I think it's about upgrading players and positions. As simple as that, really. Not too much, but the problem we've got this summer is because of Lingard and Dawson, we're going to spend 20 million to keep the squad as it is. It's going to cost us 20 million to keep the squad, and that is what I think is Fulham's biggest problem going into next season. They've got a lot of players on loan. They're going to have to spend a lot to keep them. Villa had this problem when they came up 2 years ago. They came up and spent 100 million, and people laughed at them, said, "Oh, look how rubbish you're doing." They only stayed up on the final day. But the thing is, they had to pay like 30 million to keep Tyrone Mings. He was on loan, done well. They had to pay 30 million to keep him. There's another couple of players that they had to pay that was on loan. And most of those 100 million went on just keeping the squad the same. And I felt a bit. It doesn't tell the true story, and I think Fulham are going to find that problem out in the summer. And that Besiktas striker, I've never heard of him, mate. I'm not going to pretend I have. Refused to watch him on YouTube, so I'm not going to go down. If Leeds go down, Bamford, Ray, I think you need to look at the league table, mate. Leeds ain't going down, I'm afraid. Have a little look at the league table. Alan, if we qualify for European any competition, where would you most like to go? Dortmund's my number one on my football stadium list. Dortmund is by far my number one. But, and this is a weird thing, I don't think I'd want to see us play. I don't think I'd want West Ham to play Dortmund. I think I'd rather go watch a Bundesliga game and watch Dortmund play at home against a team that I've got absolutely zero affiliation to. Almost so I can indulge in the atmosphere, if you like, because I'd find it difficult. If you're there as the home fan, as away team, the away fan, you obviously be cheering for your team. You almost miss the experience, don't you? I think you would. So I don't really want Dortmund for that reason. I think I'd like to go to a really obscure country, and I don't know why. Something like Ludogorets over in Bulgaria. I think I'd like to go to something like that. Austria, I've always wanted to go to Austria. So if we could get Salzburg, that would be good. I'd like to go see. I wouldn't mind playing them. If Austrian Vienna's doing any decent this season, I don't know. Then I wouldn't mind going there. Something like that. But that would be my. I'd like to obscure Sweden. Go see us play Malmo or something. Go to Norway and see us play Molde. Just go see Alan's. Is it his cousin? Is it Alan's cousin at Molde currently? I think it's his cousin. And I think he's 17 or 18 years old, and he's got a ridiculous goal scoring record, just like Eric. His goal scoring record is just unbelievable at the minute. Anyway, listen, I'm going to start wrapping this up. Glitchy Gamer says that he's a Liverpool and West Ham is his second team. We used to be able to second team, but it's sort of coming back now a little bit. Just come back. MJ says, would Areola from Fulham, Lingard, Tammy Abraham, and a central midfield cover be enough to push us on? Yeah, I think it would. I think that would. I think we could do one or two more, but I think, generally speaking, George says that would being in new European competitions be a bad thing? No. Oh, no, George. No chance. No. That Europa Conference League, sign me up. I would love it. We've got a chance of winning it. We'd be the only English team in there. I think someone said it to me when I did the video about the new competition. And they said, I think I prefer the new one compared to the Europa League. Do you know something? I think he's bang on. I think I'd rather us playing the new crap competition in the Europa League. The Europa League's a little bit more prestigious, but the new one, we've got much more chance of winning it. There's no Champions League dropout, so we don't have to worry about, I don't know, Lazio finishing third in the Champions League group, coming down and playing us. We don't want that. Well, it'd be a good away day, but I want to win the tournament. So we don't have to worry about that. And also, B, it's the first ever season with this new competition. It's the debut for it. We can become a bit of history. You know, give it 30 years' time. You'll be at a random pub quiz via Zoom, because COVID-55 will be on the go. I don't know why COVID-55 will be about in 30 years' time. It doesn't really add up, does it? COVID-49, shall we say, is around. So we're all on Zoom. We're not allowed at the pub anymore. All the pubs are shut down because of COVID-22. They've all gone out of business in that time. And then there'll be a question: who's the first ever winner of the Europa Conference League? And us lot will say, I know that answer. And that's it. Only we will know. Only we will know. Daniel, what is your prediction for the Conference League format? I don't understand. What do you mean, my prediction? How it's going to work? I don't know. I think two teams will play each other, mate, and the winner goes through to the next round. I don't know what you mean by that. But no, I would love it. Dave, would I rather get Celtic or Rangers? I don't like either of them, but I think for West Ham fans, I feel a lot more West Ham fans support Rangers, but I feel that Celtic would be the better atmosphere for West Ham fans, if that makes any sense. Probably not. Anyway, right, listen, I'm going to go because I said half an hour. That's been 36 minutes. Thank you for joining me. Drop a like on the video if you can, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're not far away from 17,000 subscribers. So if you've watched it, you've got this far, you're not subscribed, I think you might as well subscribe, because you put up with me for 36 minutes. I'm sure you can watch a few other videos. If you're not a patron and you would like to support the channel from £3.60 per month, go in the description, check the link, patreon.com/HammersChat. Video out tomorrow morning about tomorrow night's game. Got the player ratings tomorrow night. Charlie's just done the Patreon podcast today. I've just uploaded the opposition view for patrons today. Obviously, Leeds ahead of tomorrow night's game. So that's all good stuff. If you want a mug, get in touch. Emails in the description. And I'll see you tomorrow night, 6:55. We are live. See you then.